Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wack and Trash Recap, the movie recap podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Mitchell.
And I'm your host, Zetch Olson.
And now, the movie we have today, iconic. And it's Night at the Museum with Ben Stiller. Mm-hmm. And I just saw a tape this morning of Ben Stiller auditioning for Marty McFly.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. For Marty McFly?
Like, Ben Stiller's older than I thought he was. Well, it was my birthday.
Wild.
Yeah, he was, yeah. I've never seen a young Ben Stiller before. Night at the Museum, it's his youngest.
Could you tell that it was still Ben Stiller in the audition tape?
His acting was not. His acting did not remotely make me think of Ben Stiller, but he looked like natural.
So, I mean, that's good news for all us amateurs that you're able to grow, right? Hopefully.
I mean,
maybe?
Yeah, I guess. Michael J. Fox was definitely the right choice. He's the perfect amount of charisma, but still kind of a loser.
I would never call him a loser.
No, not like a loser, but like, Marty's not cool per se.
Sure. I mean, he hangs around with a 80-year-old scientist. How cool can you be?
That's kind of
science is cool, by the way, but we're not talking about science today. At least not on the.
We're talking about history.
That's right.
What a transition.
Well, and a bit of magic, if you will, and we will, because that's in the movie.
Yep. Alrighty.
Yes.
Paint us a picture for the opening.
Okay. Imagine you're in a museum, and it's not just any museum. It is the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History and stuff, I believe, is in the. In New York City, and you're like flying through. Imagine you're the witch, the Wicked Witch of the West. Get your little dog too. And you're flying through the museum, right? That's basically how the movie starts. But there's no witches. It's just POV of a witch.
Yeah. Well. And so you see, there's cavemen. There's little cowboys.
All these like miniatures. There's Teddy Roosevelt on his horse.
There is Sacagawea.
Sacagawea, yeah.
Wait, no, I can't remember because I go back and forth on it. It could be Wea.
Well, we apologize if we get it wrong. I think it's Sacagawea.
Okay. There's
a
African,
capuchin.
I've always thought it was a little odd that there's the African animals exhibit. Well, because everything else is history. We still have all of those.
Well, is all of it history?
Well, evidently not, because there's a lion.
Well, it's the.
And then there's like a whale in one
street. I mean, they have an Easter Island head, so at least there's that.
Where is the Easter Island head located?
In the Eastern Isles. Geography is not my strong point.
All right.
Anyway, so yes, Ben Stiller. That's not his name though.
Larry.
Thank you. Larry Daly. No?
Daly. I was about to say David, but that's not.
Larry Daly, I believe it is.
It is.
Yeah. He's getting coffee or a croissant, if you will.
Ooh.
And he comes out and he sees that his car has been booted, which I don't know why we call it a boot, but there it is. It's on his car.
And he's trying to kick it off, and he's,
it's not working.
I don't remember the beginning of this movie whatsoever. The first note I have, I know it's not in the beginning, and so I'm just confused right now.
Okay.
But he does kick. I remember him kicking a boot.
Yes, he kicks the thing, and then hold on. And then he's walking to his work or something like that because he can't drive, obviously. And so then he runs into a parent that has a child at his child's school. And she's like, "Oh, are you going to your child's career day thing?" And he's like, "Oh, is that today?" And so then he runs off to his
Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to do you justice, Ben. He runs off to his kid's school. He shows up, and the school's closed down. It's a half day because, the child, parent, teacher, whatever thing day. I was homeschooled. I don't know how this works. The guy's like, "Well, we sent your son home because, we can't just have him here on the streets," and all the teachers went home. So then he has to go and find his wife.
I was fairly confident, might be wrong, isn't the kid's future stepdad the one who does the career day with him, and that's why Ben Stiller is upset?
Yeah, could be something like that.
All right, regardless,
We're starting off strong.
Larry goes home.
Yes.
Well, not home. He goes to his ex-wife's house.
Ex-wives, yeah, they are divorced.
And they didn't have a very healthy relationship. They're like, oh, hi, how you doing? And then Paul Rudd comes out, and he's like, hey. And he's got a tucked in pants and a stupid Nokia phone belt.
What, the always plug in,
Yeah,
things on.
he's
basically
like
what an iPhone is these days.
He's a financial analyst or something like that.
Yeah. And he even has an earpiece, he's like
That's how you
super
know he's
important.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Larry's like, really? That guy? He
Got
has
some
a job
stability.
at least.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Come on, Tina, or whatever her name is. I'm trying here. And she's like, your son just needs a little more stability in his life. He can't have you losing your job and, constantly switching up on things because you're kind of rocking his world here. So I think it's better if he stays with me for now because you're still kind of in a rough spot. And he's like, because his son's living with him at that time. And then she's like, no, I'll take the son so that
I thought it was maybe a joint custody situation.
Well, I mean, probably
I don't
joint custody.
They cut to a hockey game. Larry's there watching his son. His name is Nicky, by the way. Nicky is doing exactly what that sound effects were, hockeying it up. And then he tries to shoot, and he misses, and he falls, and then Larry jumps the fence and runs onto the rink,
That's not how it works.
You can't. Hockey is known for injuries.
Yeah.
That's like the point. I
not
go
a
to a
spectator
hockey game to
sport.
see a fight.
The fun fact, the one time, well, actually not the one time, but the one time I went to see the Preds was one of the games that they did not fight. And
They
I would
didn't-
like
when
to.
I saw the
I
Caps,
would
they
like
didn't
to
fight.
say. I would like to say it's because of me. I kept the peace.
That's not good.
I was the good luck.
I
charm.
would at the hockey game. I've only been to one, and they didn't fight, and they were so close multiple times. And I was like, "Come on!" And then it didn't.
What, you want to see people get hurt?
No, I don't want to see people get hurt. I just listen. If I pay for a hockey ticket, I also kind of want a boxing match. That's the beautiful thing about hockey is you get two sports in one.
I see.
I've never been to a boxing match, and they've started playing hockey.
How many boxing matches have you been to?
Don't ask questions.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay. So he goes on there, and people are like, "Get off the ring!" And then Larry is like, "Hey, that kid's got a bad knee. Use it against him." Something like that, which is
It's terrible advice.
no, it's great parenting. It's good advice. It was really good advice. It's just not very nice.
Steven's a nice person. I swear.
They get that vibe, okay?
Yeah, after the rink game, the hockey game, Nikki and Larry are walking and they're talking, and Nikki's like, "Hey, Dad, I actually don't really want to do hockey anymore." He's like, "What, son? You love hockey. We bond so much over hockey." He's like, "I think I want to be an accountant or something." And he's like, "Why the heck would you want to do that?" He's like, "Well, that's what Bob, Mom's boyfriend, does or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, you want to be like the boyfriend, huh? Well, this isn't good." So now Dad has a complex because he's trying to win his son's love, and clearly it's not working. So
and Nicky himself is like, "You gotta get a job, Dad."
Yeah, that's true.
Because Larry basically he's an entrepreneur, which means he doesn't have a job.
right. Well, in that day and
And
age,
so
yeah.
he tried starting a business called the Snapper to turn on lights.
Oh, that's right.
But
And
the
then-
Clapper kind of unfortunately did him out.
Well, and it's funny because at the career placement thing too, he was telling the lady all about this, and he's like, "See, it's so much easier than clapping because you only have to do one handed as opposed to two."
Like, well, not everybody can snap.
That's a fair point, I guess.
What do
Anyway,
you think the weirdest sound you could make to a Clapper light switch that would still work? Like, do you think if you went like it would?
I'm thinking like. Imagine you had to do that every time and you wanted to turn the lights on. I tell you, we'd have a lot more interesting world. That's for sure.
True. That's true. So if you didn't pick up from the context clues, Larry's at a job placement thing,
Yes.
and the lady's like, "Your resume sucks." I can't remember what Ben Stiller sounds like. I know if neither of us are doing it.
Yeah, I can't.
I just know he's very like back and forth. Like I don't know. Ask the monkey. You know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Like a chicken. Anyways, so
Ben, you're not like a chicken. Or maybe you are.
a good-looking chicken.
Maybe it's a compliment if you like chickens. If you don't like chickens, well, don't listen to our show.
So, yeah, because Ben Stiller definitely is listening right now.
He's subscriber number 19. That's
Yeah.
going to be him.
The lady's like, well, there is one job, no, but they've rejected everybody so far.
And he's like, I'll take it. That's me. I'm the
It's
reject.
at the Smithsonian.
He's like, well, now I see why people rejected it.
Do I look like a nerd?
Roasted.
They go to the Smithsonian. He meets a lady, the receptionist. Her name's Rebecca.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And she's like, I love history. And he's like, good to meet you. And then there is...
And there's like a little bit of like, is there chemistry here? I don't know. Maybe they're just like really good at conversating. Maybe they're a little flirty. Who knows? And then Ricky Gervais is the director.
Dr. McPhee, I believe. And he's like, this is a museum, not a... And he trailed away.
Your great accent.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And so Larry knocks on the door to the security office. Hi, I'm Larry Daly. I'm here for the security night guard position.
You're the new security guard. Yes, come on in. And that's supposed to be Dick Van Dyke, by the way. Old Dick Van Dyke. Not as old today. Think of Dick Van Dyke 16 years ago or whatever this movie came out. 9. It's like probably 10 years ago, but whatever.
No, it's probably 20. Close.
Was it 20?
Probably.
How old is this movie? How old am I? My gosh.
I feel like it came out in 2008 or 9, if I would have guessed. Mick Rooney, then he's like, he looked like a weirdo.
I only got Cecil down. As far as the characters.
That's the only one that matters, Cecil.
Yeah.
And then there's the short one and the tall one.
Yeah. Good way to differentiate those. So Cecil, played by Dick Van Dyke, they get to the end of the tour, and he's like, now here's the temple of Wack and Rar, whatever, where they keep a dead corpse in there, and then there's the tablet, extra special, so make sure you watch over this place when you're doing your night watch.
And then Larry's like, I don't even know if I want this yet. And he's like, yeah, you do. And so he takes the job.
We'll see you tomorrow
night. Larry walks away, and Mick Rooney's like, you really think he's the one?
Oh, he's the one, all right.
Boop-a-doo-doo. And then he cut back. It's nighttime. Larry's getting his groove on. You know, he's got a flashlight. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
And he's given an instruction manual by Cecil and the other guy. They're like, do everything on this manual as fast as possible, and everything will work out just fine. Larry's like, got it. And they go and leave. And he does not do that. He promptly ignores it and screws around on a PA system.
Okay, but to be fair, if I was in his position, I'd probably done the same thing. In fact, when I was working the night position at a hotel, this is very revealing real fast. Potential employers, you can skip this part. Sometimes I'd mess around with the intercom too, you know?
No, listen. If given the chance, I would.
Yeah.
I've never had the opportunity to mess around on a PA system.
Oh, it's
but
a
I
good
want
time.
to.
Oh, it's
that
a good
being
time.
said, I would definitely read the work document first.
Oh, sure.
I would, at the very least, peruse.
Sure.
He doesn't even seemingly be the first
He
page.
sees them, and then he just kind of throws them off on the desk.
Yeah.
But so he's doing this whole PA system play thing, and he's just like, all right, come up to this area over here, come up. And then he's like spinning around the little chair at the front desk, and then we see the T-Rex in the background as he's like doing his thing.
Well, yeah, Larry fell asleep and then he wakes up.
Yeah. And then lo and behold, T-Rex is gone. We're talking T-Rex, like the full skeleton thing.
Yep.
And so he's like,
fossil.
He's like, all right, Cecil, that's very funny. Way to break in the new guy. Haha, you can bring it back out now. How did they move it?
I don't know what else you would think in this scenario, but you're like, yeah, Cecil somehow moved an entire dinosaur display.
Well, it's that or somebody else broke in and moved it, but who would do that?
Or it's a third option, which is what happened, where Larry walks around, flashlight on, and then give us your best water fountain battling effect real quick. Oh my goodness. It's a T-Rex drinking from a water fountain.
Which it's all just like going out the bottom of his jaw.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why he's trying to drink. But there it is, the T-Rex, and he's at the water fountain, and he turns and he sees Larry, and as he does. And he also has no lungs, so he shouldn't be able to make sound.
So how does this work? I don't know. And he starts chasing, and Larry's naturally freaking out, and he's like, oh my goodness. And so he goes and calls Cecil. Cecil's having the time of his life.
The three of them, they're at a club or something, like a
and
Hawaiian club.
They're all doing like a cha-cha line.
Yeah.
And He's like,
is
did
that
you
how
read the
senior citizens
manual?
party?
And he's like, what? And he's trying to grab the manual, and the first thing is like, throw the bone. And he's like, what?
What
and he goes,
bone?
I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Hangs up.
And then he's like, what bone am I? And then all of a sudden, hears behind him, and he sees this bone fall, and he's like, oh, I guess that's the bone. So he picks it up, and the T-Rex is coming up on him, and he's like, okay, all right. So then he throws it, and then the T-Rex then turns into like a little dog, and he runs after the bone. And so he's like, oh, okay. So I just got to throw the bone for this magically alive skeleton of a dinosaur. It was still terrifying. And let me just say, like, this whole film, he is way more okay with things coming to life than I would be. I would have had a heart attack, probably, first of all, and then not have recovered ever.
Yeah, I think I would have left and shut the door behind me. Like,
yeah, I would have quit on the spot.
Because he starts running around, and he runs into Attila the Hun, who tries to murder him.
Yeah, he runs into the Eastern Island head.
Yeah, who's like, hey, dum-dum.
Yo, give me gum-gum. And he's talking to him. Don't know why. There's a woolly mammoth in the background that's walking around.
He's running around. He's looking through the thing, and it says, "Lock up the African exhibit of the lion for issue." And he's like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, we better do that.
In the process, he meets a little capuchin monkey named Dexter. And he's like,
Yep. And Dexter is a little mischievous kind of guy because he steals his keys, and so he's like, "Hey, Dexter, give those back to me. Give those back to me." Actually, this is after he closes the door. So, excuse me. He goes through. Dexter steals his keys. He runs out the door, and then the lions chase after him, but he closes the door at the last second, and then the lions go back away. And he's like, oh, now where are my keys? And then he sees Dexter through the cage. And Dexter, he's, waving them in front of his face or whatever. He's like, I got your keys. I got your keys. And so he's trying to get him back.
He's a monkey. He doesn't talk.
Well, yeah, okay.
But that's
he doesn't
the subtext. I just want to clarify.
Which, like, if we're in magic already, why not doesn't he talk, How does the magic know that this stuffed thing doesn't have vocal cords or it doesn't talk, and this
there is absolutely zero
wax
logic.
thing that
does? Because eventually Larry manages to get the keys back from Dexter. However, Dexter gets all of the instruction manuals and
rips him up. He goes and sits down, right? Because he's a little overwhelmed.
Yep.
As he would be. And so he's just trying to take things in. He's like, oh, my goodness, what is happening? And then that's when yeah, that's right. He gets some blow darts in his nose. And he's like, what is happening? And he's pulling out these little things. And he looks over. There's these little wax people that are blowing.
Miniatures.
Yeah, they're miniatures. And they're like Aztecs or something like that.
Yeah,
and so they're like, trying to kill this big giant stranger thing that's in their area. And so he's backing up. He's like, what in the world is all this happening? And then he trips over and he falls back into the cowboy thing. And then they throw the ropes over him. It's like a real Gulliver's. Is it Gulliver's Island?
Gulliver's Travel.
Gulliver's right? Travel. Something like that. Yeah.
Maybe Gilligan's Island.
No, no, not that one. Anyway, so the cowboys rope him down, and then they are like, run the train into his head, because his head's over the tracks.
They're like, we've had enough of you, Gigantor.
And then it's like a real intense buildup of train is coming towards his head. Is he going to get out? Is he not? And then it wides out, and it's a little train that just hits him. Boop.
He's like, stop it.
Ow.
And Owen Wilson's the main cowboy. I can't remember his name.
Jedediah.
Jedediah. And he's like, oh, God, guys, we got to run it back. Come on. And so he's eventually Larry's like, and he gets up and he looks down at his feet, and there is Octavius.
And
he's like,
good.
Boys, let's get him.
And it's a big Roman soldier army, and they let the catapults go and everything. And he's just getting pummeled. So Larry runs out of there. Doesn't know what to do.
At this point, this is when Teddy comes in, right?
This is when Teddy comes in, yes.
That's a horse. And then he grabs Larry up on. He's like, "Bully boy, I'm gonna save ya."
Buddy, yeah, that's what he says. And then Teddy kind of explains the whole magic thing to Larry of like what's happening. He's like, "Nah, I bet you I'm not gonna try to do his voice. He's like, I bet you're pretty confused right now, aren't you? And Larry's like, yeah, I'm very confused. And he's like, well, let me show you what's happening. You see all these things and all these creatures, why they're alive and all that stuff. Well, it has to do with one thing, the tablet of Wackman Rawr. And so then they go, and he takes him and he shows him the Wackman Rawr place, which is where Cecil had showed him earlier.
Yep.
And these big Anubis statues are alive. They're guarding it, and he's like, now don't look them in the face, or else they'll kill you. And then he goes up and he shows him the tablet, and then he shows him the coffin that's right in front of it, and there's like a sarcophagus. The sarcophagus?
Yeah. That's what I said.
And there's something alive inside it. It's trying to wiggling and he's trying to get out. And he's like, not today, Wackman Rawr. Whatever. They're all alive because of this magical thing that they found in Egypt. That's not really explained why that is that way, but there you are.
If you could explain it, would it be magic?
Yeah, I'd say it's magic.
So, Teddy helped Larry. They clean everything up. And he also gives out this information, which is that everybody needs to be back in their place by sunrise. If anybody is outside the museum at sunrise, they turn to the dust, Infinity War style. Mm-hmm. So, that's important.
Good reference.
So they get everybody gets locked up. Cecil comes in and he's like, well, how was your first day? And Larry's like, why didn't you tell me? What is wrong with you? And he's like, well, let's be honest, you wouldn't have believed us, which is fair.
I wouldn't. You're three crazy old kooky men, you know?
Yeah. So he's like, I quit. And he goes, yeah, right. Give it one more shot, Larry.
And that's when Nicky comes in because he heard that his dad got a job at the museum. He's like, Dad, you're so freaking cool, man. This is awesome. I want to spend a night with you at work. And he's like, since he's trying to earn his son's love and affection or whatever, this is like a big moment for him because he's like, oh my goodness, finally my son is interested in something that I'm doing. So he's like, okay. I need a timeout here real fast. Just one more thing. Larry did get yelled at by the director because one of the Roman soldiers ended up inside the cowboy exhibit in like the stockade or whatever. Those things that like you stick your hands and head through. And so he's like, I don't want you to have this happen anymore. No more. If this happens again, you're out.
Well,
you're done.
Yeah. And he's like, you think this is funny? He's like, well, I'm guessing this little soldier went to the wrong Western. He's like, wait, you want to have a game of wits?
Yeah.
Do you?
You want to have a laugh? Oh, I'll laugh for you. Oh. Yeah. However, Ricky Gervais does it. It's great, fantastic.
Which, I don't know what Ricky Gervais thinks is happening. There is zero way to make a miniature bend that way.
Right. Well, especially, I think, are these guys made out of wax too? Technically, I don't know.
They're definitely not made out of a pliable material that you can just bend like gumbo.
Right.
Gumby.
Dumbo?
No, not gumbo.
What are you? I don't. Anyway.
With the guy. The clay dude. Gumby. No.
Don't know who you're talking. So now Larry is all prepped mentally, and now that can help him prep physically. So he goes and he takes all his knowledge and he prepares
applies
for the night.
it.
And he gets a big wad of gum for the Easter Island head, and then he gets a car that with some string to remote control the bone around for the T-Rex and all this stuff. So now he has all these plans in place for the next night when things come to life.
Yeah, and so he's implementing all the plans. It's going great. He gives that the Easter Island.
And who comes back? Attila the Hun.
Attila the Hun can't speak English for whatever reason. I don't know why other people can.
Yeah, he speaks Attilanese.
Well, because think about it. The Romans certainly shouldn't.
They should
be speaking
Latin.
Italian or Latin. Yeah,
one of the two.
But then Christopher Columbus does speak Italian. But why don't the Romans?
Look, it's
the
like
Hun speak Mongolian.
It's like Batman's utility belt. It's all convenience.
Whatever the plot needs is what's there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Attila the Hun is like, oh yeah.
And he's like, oh, big guy. I will show you something. And so in his research, he learned that Attila the Hun liked magic, and he always had sorcerers around him. So he's like, look at this coin, and it appears behind your ear. And he's like, oh. And then he's like, and now look at this magic handkerchief. And he's like, oh. And then he's like, now I can make it disappear. And he stuffs it down into a fake thumb. And then he puts that thumb back on, and he's like, look at this. It's all gone. But you can see a part of the handkerchief sticking out the bottom of the thumb. And that's Stephen for Attila saying, I found you out.
and specifically, let's rip him apart limb by limb.
Limb by limb, that's right.
That the Huns would do. So they all grab him.
They're gonna just pull him out, like pull out his sockets, basically.
Yeah, I guess something happened that make the Huns drop him.
Yeah, something he drops him somehow, and then we go back to the African exhibit where he's locking everything up, and Dexter tries to steal his keys again. Except this time he was prepared. He had little toy keys where his regular keys go, and then he had his other keys in his pocket. So Dexter steals the little toy keys, and he's like, oh no, little dumb monkey, you thought you could get me, but I got you.
And then he starts peeing on Larry.
Yep.
Which
is apparently something that that kind of monkey does. What is it called?
Capuchin?
Capuchin. Yeah.
I mean, I believe that real Capuchin can do it, but the implication that...
Look, if there's anything about this movie that's confusing you because of the consistency of the magic, then just forget about it.
No, hear me out. Dexter pees.
Yeah.
So
he can drink.
Actually, you know what? Never mind. I was about to make a dumb point. Carry on.
Here we are in a world that magical exhibits come to life, and Steven's trying to be logical about it. Anyway.
The cavemen were the Neanderthals were trying to create fire.
Yeah.
They weren't harming anybody. They were just sitting around playing with their sticks. It was not a problem. For some reason, Larry decided to give them a match.
He gives them a lighter. Yeah. Which is like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
The dumbest exhibit here. Why would you do that?
Yeah. And then he stopped by the miniatures exhibit, and he picks up Jedediah and Octavia. And he's like, okay, why do you guys hate each other so much? He's like, I don't like it when you pick me up. I don't like feeling manhandled.
And he's like, I'm sorry. I won't do that anymore, okay? Okay. Oh, great. All right.
And basically, Larry said, get along, guy. There's no reason to be fighting. And then I had to lock up the Mayans over there because they're shooting me with little blow darts. Do you want me to do that to you guys? They're like, no. Then get along. They're like, okay, if you can do that.
Fine. Larry takes a glance over into the Sacagawea room, and he sees somebody. He's a little peeping Tom, if you will. I was going to use that, too. That's pretty good. And then he sees that it's Teddy. Teddy is spying on Sacagawea and Lewis and Clark with his binoculars, and he's like,
he's not really spying on Lewis and Clark.
Who
are also in the exhibit, and they argue all day, every day, apparently.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I cannot believe that Sacagawea had any sanity left, because night after night, it was just listening to those two argue. So anyway, Larry finds out that he has a little crush on Sacagawea, and he's like, why don't you go up there, man? And he's like, yes, that's very good. Yes, all right, now you carry on. Boy. And then he does not go up
he walks up, and he's like, and then leaves.
Yeah.
He gives a pathetic wave out. I mean, come on, man.
Which, I mean, sometimes that's all you can muster. Not speaking from personal experience, but whatever.
Of course.
And then something happens. A very dreadful thing happens.
Yes.
Neanderthal exhibit catches on fire.
Yep.
And so then Larry has to go and get the fire extinguisher. And then all the Neanderthals are like, whoa. And then they start eating the foam and whatnot. He's like, you guys are idiots. And then one of them is like wandering around for whatever reason, and he jumps out the window. And
Dexter.
Oh, that's what it is. Because he sees there's like a trash fire outside, in a park across the street, and so the Neanderthal's like, oh, there's fire. So he jumps out, runs across the street, and Larry's like trying to make sure that everybody's in their exhibit and whatnot before the sun comes up, and he's like, oh, wait a minute, we're missing a Neanderthal. Where is he? And they're like, he's outside. So he runs to the door. He opens the door. He's like, get back inside. And he starts running across the street. And then he looks back, and here comes the sun up. And then he's dust. And he's like, well, dang it.
Yep. And during the night, though, something happens that makes everything go to chaos. He goes back up to the minister's room. They're all fighting each other. They didn't listen.
That's right, yep.
And there's other bad things that happen. And Teddy kind of bailed him out a second time. And Teddy says something along the lines of like, man, if everybody could just get along, they wouldn't need to be locked up. Food for thought. And then he turns back in.
I wish we could make like a little animation of somebody's brain eating some food. Anyway. Of course, the next morning, Larry gets in a huge amount of trouble because, there's like a whole wax figure missing, which I don't know how expensive those are to make, but it can't be cheap. That's a pretty big candle right there. So, he gets kind of ratted out.
At least 7 candles worth of wax.
Probably. No wicks. He has to convince Ricky, what's the director?
Dr. McPhee.
Dr. McPhee, not McFly, McPhee. And Dr. McPhee is like, one more night. All right, that's all I give you. One more night. That's it.
But meanwhile, Nicky went to the Smithsonian with his friends and overheard Larry getting fired.
Yes.
But before they went back to get a job back.
That's right.
So then Larry goes to his ex-wife's house where Nicky is. And it's like, hey, champ, you want to come with me to see my job? And he's like, don't lie to me, Dad. I know you got fired. And he's like, what the fuck? I didn't get fired. That was a misunderstanding. Everything's so fine.
It's okay.
And this is the coolest job ever. Trust me. Which, honestly, until I had it down to a T, I don't think I'd bring my son where they were lions that could eat you.
Or T-Rexes.
Or the Rexies seemed harmless.
Or Huns that would pull you apart.
Right, yeah.
What happens if you are alone with Attila? Well, your son's dead, man.
Yeah. So, risky move, but he invites Nicky nonetheless.
Yes.
And so...
He's like, come on, stay the night. I'll show you the place. And he's like, really, Dad? It's just, okay, whatever. I'll stay.
So he goes, night number 3. They're all sitting there, and he's like, just you wait. I didn't know how to tell you this, Nicky, but at night, everything in this museum comes alive in 3, 2, 1, Rexy! Rexy, don't move.
Dad, he's not moving.
Go, dinosaur!
And he ain't moving for squat. And he's
like, come on, Teddy, wake up. Come on. And he's not moving. And he's looking all around. And he's like, Dad, this is pathetic.
History come to life moment that didn't actually come to life. This is where my notes run out, so we're free balling from here.
Going commando, huh?
That's not what... Okay.
Free balling?
I don't think that's what that reference is, but whatever.
There's some rummaging happening in like the back room. And so Larry and Nicky go to see what it is. And it's the 3 old guys, Cecil and the other 2.
And they're like, what are you guys doing here? They're like, oh, we just had to pack up some things. We're leaving, so we had to get our stuff or whatever.
They see that they have the tablet of Rar, and one of the center tablets are turned 50 degrees.
Yeah, it's like a 3x3 square thing.
You know those tic-tac-toe boards at
like,
playground that you can spin? It's like that, but Egyptian.
Yeah.
And so one of those is turned partly, and Nicky grabs it, and Larry's like, put that last thingy in. And Caesar's like, now, son, don't listen to your screw-up of a dad. And Nicky doesn't listen to Cecil.
He's like, my dad's not a screw-up.
And then it's like, starts glowing, and he's like, what's happening?
And then he hears like animals coming to life or something.
Vexy comes in. The magic makes the old people feel young again for some reason. That's why they're stealing the tablet.
Yes.
And while they're at it, they also wanted to steal some other stuff,
definitely
too.
did not fall asleep and miss that.
Yeah.
They get the tablet back,
They
right?
get the tablet back.
And then they're like heading to the car so they can drive off, right?
Something like that's happening.
Rebecca comes back in at some point. I know she does.
Yeah, because previously Larry was like, at night, everything comes to life, so you can talk to Sacagawea and get actual information. She's like, okay, make fun of the history nerd. And so she leaves. And
Which, I would, but whatever.
Make fun of a history nerd? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look at things that are living, idiot.
I'm sorry, we're getting super off the topic here.
So, chaos is ensuing.
Yes.
Right? And Larry is trying to get everybody's attention, and then finally the Eater head out of like, be quiet.
It's a real Princess Bride moment.
Yeah.
Everybody move,
Oh, that would be a good one.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
We probably screwed up. Anyway,
Don't
so,
we always?
so Larry gives his speech. He's like, guys, we gotta work together, okay? We need to stop Cecil and the other two. And so,
And Teddy asks Sacagawea out on a date. Why don't you?
come on. Like, we're not all that different. We're all made of wax. You know, something like that. It's emotional. It's big. And so he sent...
brings everybody together.
They send both the Union and the Confederacy off to find some people, find one of the guys. They send some other people out to do another thing, to another section, because they're robbing the museum.
Yeah.
The three bad guys. And then
I'm like, why don't you just go?
He sent the miniatures. They wanted money, retirement money. That's right. And they send the miniatures to go and sabotage the getaway vehicle. So that's what's happening. You get this cool montagey thing where like one of the old guys is like, oh man, I don't want to fight you, and it's all the Civil War dudes. They're like about to blow their brains out, I guess. There's a whale for some reason hanging by some string that like water at Cecil. Basically,
really?
Yeah.
Wow. I wish I was awake to see all this. Something you should know about me, this will also add to the lore, is I fall asleep very easily. And if we're watching a movie late at night, then chances are I'm going to miss some of it. And for this movie, it was the ending.
You've seen it before, though.
But it's been like years.
Yeah, all right. So two of the guys get tied up.
Yes. I know Cecil makes it to a car at some
Cecil
point.
makes it to go. The miniatures, they did not have a good plan. I'm impressed, actually, a little bit. They go out to the car. It's snowing, by the way. And they just try to deflate the tire. So they take one of the spears and they stick it in the pin.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then it's kind of funny because it cuts back and forth where you see the car from like far away and nothing's happening.
That's right.
Maybe you can hear it. I can't.
And then you can like zoom in. They're all like, woo!
Yeah, and it does nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
Cecil end up stealing a carriage. I guess that must have been a part of an exhibit we haven't seen yet.
I guess maybe.
And
It's in the back shop. That's what it was.
Yeah, and he's
It
like,
was in storage.
aha, and like, and he's about to run over Sacagawea.
And then Teddy swoops in and saves the day, and somehow perfectly lands so that the tire splits him in half, but the horses don't run over him. I don't know how it works, but he gets split in half.
Yeah, but yeah.
Perfectly down the torso.
Sacagawea is like, oh no, and he's like, I did that for you, darling.
I've always loved you. And you're like, why are you talking like this? You're not about to die. You're made out of wax.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's right. And then he's basically a big candle. So they're like, oh, we just heat up this part and heat up this part and we stick you back together and you're all good to go, man.
The Octavius and Jedediah somehow get control of the remote control car, which apparently has gas pedals inside of it. So they're driving it and they get Rexy out to the front. And so
That's right.
Oh. This is very important.
Rebecca comes back in, yes? No.
Well, she does at some point.
Yes.
They break a window.
Okay.
They get her out. This is the important
Break
part.
a window to get her out?
They break her out of the glass. They throw like a rock through it. I don't remember why exactly.
I'm discovering this as you guys are. This sounds like a great movie.
So, okay. Anyway, they were trying to unite everybody.
Yes.
Or they get... This is what happened.
Okay.
I remember now.
Please tell me. I don't know.
They go into the Egyptian room,
Yes.
and Cecil traps them there. He sets the gate, and that's when they start stealing stuff because they think they've got away with it. They free the mummy out of
Achman Ra, right?
Achman Ra,
Yes,
or
yeah.
King Tut, I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
One
They
of the
free
two.
him out, and he is
A very white guy.
he's Rami Malek. I don't know what ethnicity he is. So
Oh, okay.
I don't think he's white, though.
Okay. Well, he's
But
definitely
regardless,
not.
he's out, and he's just like a nice dude, and he's like, "Thanks, it's really stuffy in that
Thanks
mummy
for letting me
costume."
out, yeah.
And so then they use the
Wait. Okay. Hold on. Time out.
Yeah.
Is he also made of wax,
not sure.
or is he a real dead person come to
He
life
might
right
be
now?
a real mummified person.
Oh my
That's
word!
a possibility.
Why did
doesn't
he
look
get
like
skin?
It, though. He's like a
Anyway.
normal. He looks like a normal dude. So
Yeah.
they use the Temple of Anubis guy, the Sphinx statues.
Right.
They break down a gate, and that's when they have the "Let's go get them, everybody. Let's reunite." And they had like the like Pharaoh is like the king. And
Right. Yeah.
so that's the context. So flash forward back to where we were. It's him, King Tut, and Nikki riding the dinosaur, and Larry is riding Teddy's horse. I think Cecil might have the tablet of Akhman Ra. I don't know why he doesn't turn it.
To stop them from being alive? Yeah.
Yeah.
That would, well, if he did, then the horses that are driving his carriage would also stop.
Oh, that's good logic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll accept that. Basically, they're all chasing him. There's the remote control car at one point gets thrown off, and she like.
Oh, that's right.
Up,
yep.
And you're like, oh my goodness, Jedediah and Octavia just died.
They're done.
And Larry and the dinosaur go and they stop the carriage and they get Cecil. They arrest him, I guess. And so then they start getting everybody back.
It's a long journey.
Rebecca sees that things are going back into the museum and it's kind of like, oh my goodness, I wasn't lied to. And that's when she goes back into the museum. And then Larry's like, I have someone I want you to meet. And it's Sacagawea. And she's like, I'm such a big fan.
Weird that Sacagawea knows all the things about Sacagawea's life.
Again, yeah, there's no reason.
It's a weird
Teddy,
thing.
at a point that we skipped early in the movie, was like, I'm from Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
I've never done anything. So...
Well, and so at the end, though, Jedediah and Octavius do make it back.
Yep.
They're a little worse for wear, a little black here and there or whatever, but they're fine.
Yep, they're good. And they're brothers now.
Yes.
And we're like,
Soul brothers, yeah.
Everybody is now friends. Teddy has been restored back into one piece. Everything resolves.
Not
very
the
great.
animated.
Nikki and Rebecca are just like, wow, this guy's great. Next day, Ricky Gervais is there, and he's like, I mean, do you have, honestly, any explanation to what's happening here? Oh, do you? He's like, I've got no explanation to give you. Yeah, that's what I thought. Get out. And then, in the meantime,
so Australian.
You've got, well,
Get out.
Get out.
Wrong.
I know.
There's a door over there. Get out.
So there's a new thing happening in the background, though. It's like, there's all these footprints in the snow from last night of dinosaur footprints and stuff that point back to the Smithsonian Museum. This is an elaborate prank or some great marketing. Who knows?
But either way, it's working out because here all the people come back into the Smithsonian.
Yeah, they go out, and so Ricky Gervais is like, all right, okay, yeah, you can get your job. Which doesn't make sense to me. Like,
it's like,
you
okay, in his mind,
you have no reason to think that Larry is the one that like did this.
I do think he is the one that did this. Why? Like, you think that he took the dinosaur bones, went outside, like, put the prints in this all by himself?
He 3D printed some big old flip flops that stomped around.
Either way, like, it did work out really well for the Smithsonian.
Yeah,
so
there was more people than ever been. They were talking about having to cut funds at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And he was like, good job. And everybody's like, woohoo. And then it cuts to the night at that museum.
And they're having a party.
They are just having a rave.
Disco ball down, everything. This I remember.
Columbus is grooving out.
Yeah,
everybody.
He's like made out of copper or something like that.
Yeah.
Every time he moves, it's like 1,000 pounds, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so everybody's just partying it up, and I guess every night now party at the museum.
I guess so. Honestly, he gets paid to party. That's pretty cool. I take that job.
I mean, you have to be up all night. That's
true.
But Nicky's there, and they're just like woohoo, and Sacagawea is on Peaches and with Teddy, and they're like, wow,
yeah, he went for it.
And then it ends. That's the movie.
I hope
Night
that
at
was
the museum.
actually insightful for you guys, because I was on the edge of my seat just as much as you were for like the last 10, 15 minutes there.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty exciting stuff. Now, what are some takeaways?
Okay, well, first of all, takeaway. This is a very applicable takeaway, by the way. Don't fall asleep during movies, or else you will miss.
Especially if you do a podcast.
Especially if you do a podcast about movies, you probably should not fall asleep during movies.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, it also allows you to have some trust in your friends that that they will be honest with what happened in the movie, and you get to be surprised by the ending when you watch it again the next time.
That's true.
So
if
maybe
you don't fall asleep again.
If you just make sure you fall
Do you
asleep.
think there's
at
a movie
different
that you've never actually finished, even though you've seen it multiple times?
None come to mind off the top of my head.
It's
but
because he was asleep during
it. Exactly. I wouldn't know, would I?
Right.
So anyway, that's a takeaway. But take that either way you want to, because it could be a good thing or a bad thing. So it's a 2-for-1.
Wow.
Anyway, that's fine. What's yours? That's not even from the movie. I'll come up with
You
something.
got to know your history, apparently.
Otherwise, you'll be
personally-
schooled by a bunch of wax figures.
Yeah, you might get, because you just never know when a bunch of wax huns are going to try to rip you limb from limb, and that's when you can be like, aha, magic, if you know magic.
You better know magic.
That's a subsection of this one, is everybody should learn a little bit of close-up magic.
Because
Just
magic
on
does
the
make
off
you cool,
chance.
by the way. As we've learned from being back in high school.
Yeah, it impressed no girls.
But all the guys.
All the guys loved it, and so you just never know. So know your history.
That's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Very applicable. Very applicable.
Yeah,
And I guess, you know what? I'd say for the last takeaway, shoot your shot, man. Even if you end up cut in half out in the snow in New York, it's worth it in the end, because
Only
at
if
least they can melt both sides of you and put you back together.
this is only applicable if you're made of wax.
Oh, true.
You should shoot your shot, but
Let's
don't
take
shoot
it
your
on the
shot
other-
in a way that lets you get cut in half.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe unless the sacrifice is worth it,
The only scenario in which I think this is acceptable is in the previously mentioned magic scenario, which is just one of those saws,
Could be.
and you're trying
Could
to
be.
impress somebody.
Okay, fair
until
enough.
you get cut in half.
Basically, what I'm saying
How does
is,
that work?
take a chance, man,
Take a chance on me.
and see what happens.
Yes.
Because it might be an adventure, and you might get to meet a live skeleton dinosaur.
There's just more magic in the world than you might realize.
And with that, we will magically disappear with some cool editing effects.
And we're back.
Thank you guys for joining us for another episode. This movie was not recommended, but if you would like to recommend a movie, you can do so by sending an email to us at wackandtrash@gmail.com. We will do our best to reply, at least read the email.
We do always read them. We don't
True.
always reply.
Very true, very true. Now, Stephen, will you send us off with your best dinosaur call?
That's my dinosaur who is having some abdominal issues.
I thought it was asthma. Okay.
No. He's got like a fur ball almost.
Oh, okay.
A feather ball, actually, if you want to be historically accurate.